for this thing. All you bitches best to know my name. Nobody you hoes, I'm coming from South Park. Catch you at the dark, I'ma spit your fucking chest apart. Follow you. For this thing, all you bitches best to know my name. Nobody you hoes, I'm coming from South Park. Catch you at the dark, I'ma spit your fucking chest apart. Follow you. For this thing, all you bitches best to know my name. Nobody you hoes, I'm coming from South Park. Catch you at the dark, I'ma spit your fucking chest apart. Follow you. Nobody you hoes, I'm coming from South Park. Catch you at the dark, I'ma spit your fucking chest apart.
No threat to our Hotep, especially when the Hotep got the goddess mask off. He's working his ass off, trying to tell y'all goofy dudes what they planning. It's Hotep, Hotep. Hope you motherfuckers understand. It's Hotep, Hotep. Hope you motherfuckers understand. No threat to our Hotep, especially when the Hotep got the goddess mask off. He's working his ass off, trying to tell y'all goofy
What's going on, everybody? It's Cannon Hotep coming live and direct from Baltimore City. I got a couple of guests I'm going to bring in with me, but before we get started, man, the videos that we saw that was released, this Tyre Nichols stop was hard to watch, to say the least. It was hard to watch. It put me in mind of the shit I used to see back in the day, back in the 90s, on how what we called the narcotics cops in Baltimore, we called them the knockers, how they used to jump out on people. And, like, if you ran from them, they snatch you up, take you in the alley, and beat the hell out of you. You know what I mean? And then bring you right back to your neighborhood and throw you out the car. I mean, back then we ain't had no body cameras. We ain't had no cell phone cameras. That shit just happened. The knockers thought they was above the law. The knockers said, don't nobody care about these niggas. Watching that shit brought all that shit back. What we saw was a public execution. Now, people getting hung up on, oh, these is black cops taking out a black man, you know, and then people trying to equate that to white supremacy. Honestly, I don't understand that shit. What I saw was 5 niggas do some nigga shit. What I saw was 5 niggas do some fucking, they Rodney King that man. That's what I saw. It was hard to watch. You know, now I didn't know what the deal was. I'm like, did he shoot somebody? Right? Did he shoot at a cop? Did he beat somebody's girlfriend up? Did he stab somebody's girl? What was the reason for that? Lo and behold, nobody can give us an answer to that. They even released the footage of the initial stop, kinda. They just snatched him out the car. You know, this shit is sad. A 4-year-old kid lost his dad. His mother said, I know women be on here talking about their sons was a good boy, but my son really was a good boy. This shit hurts, man. And it's not because 5 black cops did it. It's because 5 niggas thought they was above the law and they could do what they want. Trust and believe this ain't the first time they did that shit. Before I keep it going, I'm going to bring my people in. There we go. So, we got Steph Colonel in the building. What's going on, Steph?
Yo.
We got my man Kid Gravity in the building. What's up, Kid?
What it is.
And we got the one and only Bailey in the building. What's the deal?
Thanks for having me, Cannon.
I appreciate you guys coming on to talk this with me. This shit crazy, man. So Bailey, I'm gonna start with you first. When you first seen it, what you think?
Kind of exactly what you said. I thought that this is just some, you know what's so funny? I thought about it before. If I had seen that video and didn't know that he died, sadly, I would look at that like you said, just some normal cops thinking they can do something, get away with it, beat someone's ass and go on with the night. They probably never thought anything would come from it. Then he died. So, yeah. I mean, I didn't, like you said, I didn't think of anything about race or anything like that. I didn't find it strange that they were black. I didn't correlate it with race or anything like that. So, but I did take it as, you know, they thought they could do it because they could. I do have certain thoughts without knowing what happened before they got to the point where they pulled him out the car.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess we can get to that later. But yeah, my initial thoughts when I saw the video was, you know, just beating this dude's ass. Like they're just some niggas in the street. I mean, it's not funny, but that's just how I looked at it. Like they almost like they knew him.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Kid, when you saw that shit, yo, what was your first reaction to that?
I tried to watch Some told me not to watch it, but I saw when they were beating him while he was handcuffed, and the fact you could do that to a human and be cool with it, I don't know, man. It for me it just echoes why we have to take our own safety in our hands, because a lot of times we can't really trust the cops. So that's why I always advocate for neighborhood watches. We gotta have some sort of a buffer until they change. But we know a lot of them ain't going to change. So just watching that, what I saw, I can't. I can't look at law enforcement the same way. I can't look at it the same way that most people are going to look at it. So that's probably what I got. But I'm sure I'll have more later. But
No, I feel you.
I'm going to keep it reserved for now.
Steph, when you saw it, man, what was your initial thoughts?
Well, when I first saw it, even when I first heard about it, I really didn't want to watch any of it, because seeing that just been repeating itself over and over and over and over and over and over. When is it going to end? When is it going to end? But I got suckered in by Tatum had the video and giving his thoughts about it, and you already know where that went. You already know where that went. You have an idea where that went. And it was just like, he played the video. He didn't play it in its entirety, but he played the part where they stopped him initially, and they just dragged him out the car. Didn't give him a chance to react. Everyone's trying to stay compliant, quote unquote. We didn't give him a chance to comply. Literally dragged this man out of the car. And again, it's just like I said earlier, it's just like, these people, they feel like they can play God. They feel like they can play God. You know what I'm saying? They walk around above the law. They walk around above the law, untouchable, and in the physical and in the legal sense. When's enough going to be enough? When do we take a stand on this, man?
I feel you on that. So, y'all heard what I said. The shit didn't make sense to me, right? So, I'm sitting with the wife. We went out with the cousins or whatever, with her cousins. We went out to, we usually on Friday nights, we go hang out at the local bar, drink, talk shit. So I didn't even know the body cam footage was released, because I wasn't really on social media like that on that Friday. So I jumped on my Twitter, whatever, always waiting for everybody to get there, and I seen it, and it was just trending. So I was like, let me check this out. And when I watched that shit, y'all, that shit hurt my heart, bro. That hurt my heart. That dude was calling for his mama. And this wasn't no George Floyd calling for his mama or mama. This dude was 100 yards from his house, hoping his mother could hear him and come outside. Another thing that pissed me off is that none of the neighbors came to help. I'm sure they was looking out their windows, just watching the shit go down. I'm sure there's tons of witnesses to the shit. I guarantee it. But nobody come out to say nothing about it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the shit that infuriates me, right? And it goes back to what you said, kid. Like, we need to start policing our own streets, right? Because if you notice, right, one of the scenes was from a blue light. We call them blue lights here. It's one of the police cameras that they put there. It'd be on like the little trailer. And then they wind it all the way up, and you got the blue light flashing. That tells me that, like, the neighborhood ain't the greatest neighborhood. And then these dudes was on a task force. These wasn't normal cops. These dudes was on a task force. Again, it was called Scorpion Task Force. It's been disbanded now. But they was on a task force. And anytime I seen these task force be, like, here in Baltimore get implemented, that shit always goes south, right? HBO actually made a documentary called We Own This City. It was based on the gun trace task force that went down back in like 2013 or 12. That shit actually happened here. They was planting guns on people. They was robbing people, right? Whether you was a drug dealer or not, they robbing them. And they thought they was above the law until they got. These dudes were some straight up thugs, yo. Straight, period, full stop. I mean, they got their little hoodies on that say whatever they Scorpion unit or whatever it is, and they unmarked cars, just like the knockers here in Baltimore in the 90s. They think they can do whatever to you and get away with it because of the neighborhood you in, right? It's all justified. You know what I mean? I remember back in the day, one of the little homies, he was out, he was doing some shit he wasn't supposed to do. Tried to run from the police. They snatched his little ass up. They drove him to this spot out here in Baltimore called Havity Grace, Maryland. And back then, Havity Grace, Maryland had that stigma, like, if you want to get to the gas station, make a right at the Burning Cross. You know what I mean? And they dropped his ass off out there. It's like in the 90s. No cell phones and nothing like that. He had to call his brother to come get him. His brother had to figure out where he was at. Those are the knockers dropped him off out there. You know what I mean? I watched another one from the window. Watched another guy lived in the neighborhood. He's sitting on the steps chilling. Police roll up on him. They start beating on him. They threw him in the gutter. Fucking rat ran past his face and some more shit. Talking mad shit to him. Right? You smell like you got weed on you. Because you know back then weed was the shit. You know what I mean? That they wanted to get you for. Not knowing his father was a sergeant with the Baltimore City Police Department. His father just so happened to come home and see the shit going on with his son and fucking laid them out. Like, every time I seen a task force back in the day, it was always some shit with it. All the time. Always some shit with it. And it's no different with this one. Like, they followed no protocols, but at the same time, he still had his camera. He still had his camera on, right? His body cam on. They knew they was under the blue light, and they still continued to do that shit, which tells me they do that shit all the time.
That's what I was thinking too. Like in the way they were talking about it afterwards, like they were talking about it like they just got out of like a basketball game.
Right.
Like, oh, my knee hurts. Oh, I got my eyes pepper sprayed. He must have been on drugs. We just couldn't put him down. And he's still sitting there. And
right next to
the way their attitudes were. But I'm starting to wonder though, if he wouldn't have died, would this have happened though? Like, would they have? Or, like, is it only because he died?
That's a good question. I mean, but the thing I think would have been just business as usual. Mm-hmm. I want to know how many other people got their ass whooped by these dudes that didn't die. You feel me? Now, I remember back in the day, too, like, you run from the police and they catch you, they're going to bust that ass.
Yes, sir. Yes,
you know what I mean? And, like, that was back in the day. I thought that shit was over. But at the same time, the shit they did them, they was kicking them in the face, son, like soccer style.
Facts.
Soccer style, bro. He stood the man up. Like, I'm not going to show the video because, you know what I mean? Like, you know where to find it. And I don't, it don't need to circulate like that on, like, YouTube and stuff like that. Like, that's just some shit that.
They gonna flag you immediately.
That too, yeah. They're gonna flag me immediately on that shit. But at the same time, it's sad, bro. Like, this kid, like, like I said, I don't know. I don't know what it was or what he did to deserve that. If he did anything.
I could tell you.
Go for it, bro.
He made him run.
He made him run.
Got away from him and he made him puff. And they ain't like that.
For everybody in the chat, everybody watching, forgive my these daggone what's the name's going crazy, the pictures and stuff like that. I don't know why OBS does that. It's a pain.
Your people were saying my mic was all messed.
Yeah.
It was echoing. But we good now.
Yeah.
But we good now.
But it's just, it's fucking, it's sad, bro. Let me turn off that. That could be it too. And that one. But yeah, so the question was, why did they stop him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, what happened on the initial stop? Because, again, we need context to shit, right? Even though that shit was not deserved. I don't care. Unless he was out here touching little kids and some shit, right? That shit was not deserved at all. at all. So I'm like, and then, lo and behold, they can't tell us why he was stopped. They tried to say reckless driving, but then the footage came out and it ain't look like reckless driving.
And the police chief said they didn't have grounds to stop him.
I don't know if you noticed as well, when the video first starts, the first one, when they're pulling him out the car, there's a police car that looks like it drove up and cut him off to get him to stop. If you look in the background, there's cars surrounding his car.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, so when I watched the first video, the video that came out, I guess it was today or whatever, and it was what was it? I guess it was the stop at the traffic light. You got the white cop pull up. He pull up. He nearly draw his taser. You know what I mean, and he drive stuns him. It didn't work. Actually, I'm sorry. I apologize. He didn't drive stun him. He didn't drive stun him yet. He put the taser on his leg and said he was going to tase him if he didn't stop. And he was doing the all right, and then he ran. Right? He ran. Now I don't know if he had any intentions to comply with them. I don't know, but he ran. Okay. He deployed the taser. He took the t-shirt. He took the sweatshirt off of him, and he kept running. Then it cuts to the other cop chasing, coming up the street, running up the street, and the other 4 cops had him. Now, I don't know about y'all. I understand, a cop one-on-one with somebody, right? And he can't control him. And you need a second cop. And I can even understand 2 cops on one suspect and you can't control them and you need another, a third cop. But you guys had 5 cops. Y'all had 5 officers and y'all couldn't get his hands behind his back? Y'all couldn't get his hands behind his back. So y'all start beating him. Y'all start beating him like it's a gang initiation. You know what I mean? My homeboy made a good point. He police here in Bowie, Maryland. He was like, yo, it was 5 of them, yo. He was like, the way we would do the shit, he's like, yo, you get his arm, you get that arm. Yo, somebody get shoulders. Give me the arm. And then you take him that way. He don't want to comply. They back up. Taser. He said, don't drive stun him because y'all was pepper spraying him. If y'all pepper spraying him and y'all drive stun him, it could set his ass on fire because the pepper spray is highly flammable. He said, but he was like, you don't pepper spray and then tase somebody. That's not how that shit should be working. So he said, back up, taser, boom. Hit him with the taser, lock his ass up, and then get his hands. Then you got control from there. He said that's how that should have been taken care of if he was actually a threat like they said he was. But now we got all this stuff coming out. It don't even look like he did anything wrong. It looked like they just rolled up on him. And that's why I said it looked like this shit from Baltimore with the gun trace task force. They just target somebody, pull their ass over, and do all of that shit, pull them out of the car, all that stuff, and then plant a gun in the car. Or plant some dope in the car. Now when the sergeants and shit get there, look what I found. You know what I mean? And that's how they was getting their numbers up. Granted, they was doing it to dope dealers and stuff. They knew who had money in the car. You know what I mean? Or product. Somebody just got finished copping, got that product off, and they was reselling that shit. But these cops here beat him like they knew him. That shit looked personal, yo. That shit to me looked personal. And I don't know if it's it's going to come out that he knew these dudes, And like I was saying before, I said back in the day, we knew who the knockers was that was up to no good, right? We knew the narcotics cops that was up to no good. So we would look out for them, right? Because they didn't care if you were selling or not. If they said go in a house or something like that and you didn't, you just sitting on your porch, they come fuck with you, right? What if he was driving, right? He driving, he get pulled over and he recognized them cops. Oh, here we go. You know what I mean? And then he takes off running because he know nothing good gonna come of this stop. He know nothing good gonna come of this stop. And he hauling ass because he ain't but 3 football fields from home. Right? Because they caught him down the street from his house. But they rolled up on him in their cars, they cut him off, and they beat the hell out of him. And they was like, well, why didn't he comply? Why didn't he comply? You get punched in the fucking face. You get pummeled in the fucking face and see if you don't want to take that one free arm and start blocking shit. You get pepper sprayed in your fucking face and see if you don't want to kind of wipe your face with your free arm. You take a soccer kick to the head and see if you don't want to fucking try to block that shit. Why don't he just come? Because you got people that's on social media. Why he should have just complied and fought later.
How you gonna fight later? They kick your ass in the thing,
right?
In the clink,
right? And then let's just say the stop went the way they wanted it to go. We don't know what their motives was. Did they really catch him like recklessly driving? But you're the crime unit. The fuck you worry about reckless driving for? And what is reckless driving? What was he doing? Would he make a left without his fucking turn signal?
He probably touched the yellow line.
Technicality, right?
Technicality.
Right.
I remember one time, I got pulled over, right? I was like 19. Going to the club. Spot here in Baltimore called the Paradox. On Friday nights, it was college night, right? So I go to the gas station. I was at my aunt's house. I just dropped her off home. I had picked her up from somewhere. I think her bike had broke down or something, so I picked her up. She caught a flat on her bike tire, so I picked her up and took her home. I leave her house. I go to the gas station, get some gas, go to the ATM, grab a couple dollars so I could pay to get in. As soon as I pull out to the light, I got 6 cops behind me, bro. 6 cop cars. I'm sorry, 6 cop cars. With 5 cops behind me. 5 cops, because 2 was riding together. Right? They step up and say, yeah, we pulled you over because your exhaust was too loud. I'm like, what? I did like the light, so the gas station and the light I pulled to was right there, right? I barely get into the throttle, right? So I'm like, how? Well, it was loud and it's something. So he goes, you got any guns or any drugs in the car? I'm like, no. So he like, well, license and registration, right? So it's 2 a.m. I'm looking in my rearview mirror. I see a bunch of fucking cops. Ain't nobody else on the street. I'm like, okay, I'm about to do what the fuck they tell me to do because I ain't about to catch this ass whooping, right? That's what I think. In my mind, I'm like, yo, it's just me. And at this time, I'm 19, so I'm 260 muscle. 6'1", 6 feet, 6'1". I'm like, I'm not gonna be the threat today, right? So I get out. I go sit on the curb. Now my aunt, she checking on me to make sure like I made it to where I was supposed to go. So she chirping me through the Nextel. Remember the Nextels with the chirp? You had the little joint, the 2-way. So she trying to hit me on that. And these dudes is like, what's that your seller or some shit like that, some racist shit, right? Because it was white cops, right? And I'm like, no, that's my aunt. She lived right there. Like I could see her building. Because the next question was like, well, what you doing out here? And I said, I just told you, I just dropped my aunt off home. She lived right there. So she had left her bike pump. She had left her bike pump in my you know, the little compartment on the side of the door. She left a bike pump there. So he pulls it out. I'm like, what is this? Is some kind of like crack pipe or something like that? I'm not. I swear, if I'm lying, I'm dying. I go, it's a bike pump. Well, how does it work? Because it was like a little small joint, right? Well, how does it work? I say, you pull that one in and you'll feel the air come out the other side. So he does that and then he just tosses it in the car. They open my trunk, bro. I ain't giving permission to open the trunk. Right? I ain't got shit. They trash my fucking car, bro. Trash my fucking car and go, all right, you free to go. Now everything in me wanted to like come you know, like fucking like just go off. But I'm like, it's 6 fucking cops. There's nobody on the street at 2 a.m. I ain't about to be on the news. Got my car, and then I just I made a complaint the next day, but that shit ain't go nowhere. You know what I mean? But the thing about it is, and the reason I tell that story is if you could tell, it wasn't nobody on the fucking street when he was on the street. And they got him blocked in. They got him pinned to the ground. He don't know what about to happen to him. I'm willing to bet he knew them cops. I'm willing to bet these cops is a fucking menace to that neighborhood. And that nigga ran. He ran for his life trying to get to his mother house. And they caught his ass not even 100 yards from the house. And they beat him simply because, like Kid said, he made them chase him. They Rodney King that boy. But at least Rodney King lived. But they Rodney King that boy. The one cop pepper sprayed himself, got pissed, and brought the baton out.
Yep.
And then they were just so nonchalant about it after the fact. Ambulance pull up. Ambulance got to pull up on a fucking traffic stop because 5 cops couldn't quote unquote subdue a person. But the shit looked personal. You saw what the other 3 cops was holding him. You saw when the other 3 cops was holding him while the one dude was just laying into him. They stood him up. They had both his arms at this point. And one cop just, throwing haymakers. Hey, he out on his feet. And they throwing haymakers. This shit is fucking heartbreaking, yo. He calling for his mother because he right there. He in his neighborhood. And this the thing, right? I got friends in law enforcement, right? Every last one of them said, nah, yo, them niggas need to go to jail. Them niggas need to get the death penalty for that shit. They all said that shit, right? Fuck them. They don't represent us, right?
Well, here's the thing, Hotep. They already said 2nd degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is when they need to go to Gen Pop.
Bruh.
There's your 1st degree right there.
But then the thing is if they really in the vice laws, if that's really true, they protected in jail too.
I heard they were Q dogs.
Oh, they just Qs? They just in sororities?
Yeah, like 3 of them were Q dogs.
Okay, but I don't know where they got that vice law story from.
I think people just talking right now.
Yeah, speculating. I guess they want that misinformation flowing, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like I said, because at first when I seen it, I'm like, well, I need to see some evidence of this shit, right? But at the same time, like I said, here in Baltimore, some of the police here in Baltimore, they belong to like the BGF, right? Some of the COs belong to that gang too.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't discount that shit. But at the same time, I need evidence to see that shit. But they need Gen Pop, bro. You right. Nah, ain't no protection. You don't get no solitary, bro. You don't get to go to no other wing. Nah.
And you know them boys are salivating to get them.
You already know them people. They beat up and put in jail. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the point I was getting to. What state is it that said they were trying to pass a law that if you feel threatened or you in trouble, you feel like your life is on the line from a police officer, you got the right to shoot him? What state was that, yo? That shit.
Louisiana.
Oh no, that's news to me.
You don't remember that? Hold on.
I heard that.
Yeah,
I heard that.
Yo, in the chat, if y'all can remember, I did a fucking stream on it, and I can't remember the state. There was a state that said,
if you feel like your life is in danger, you can shoot them?
Yeah, I'm not lying. They passed the law.
Shoot them.
You got the right to shoot them.
At what point, though? Like you're just sitting in the car and that...
Nah, it doesn't matter.
You know, what?
I can't remember the state.
Yeah.
Anybody in the chat, if y'all can remember the state, let me know. I'll look it up in a second.
I feel like it was Louisiana.
It might
I almost
be
said Wisconsin.
I can't remember. Anybody in the chat? Let me see. Natasha said she think it was like Wisconsin or something like that. Let me see.
Maybe Minnesota.
I'm sure.
Nah, New Hampshire. Nah, Bernie. You know Bernie Sanders ain't going for that.
Funny, I put shoot cop law, Baltimore City Police Department pop up.
Imagine y'all go out there and start shooting up. What's his name?
That'd be wild.
Here we go. Indiana. Indiana law that lets citizens shoot
Indiana,
cops.
right. It was Indiana. Yeah.
Here we go. I'll show you guys this shit real quick.
But don't Indiana let the cows take care of all the crime?
All right, y'all can all see that, right?
Yeah.
All right. Indiana law that lets citizens shoot cops. The Hoosier state now allows people to use deadly force to keep public servants from illegally entering their homes or cars. Police, of course, are not pleased. Now, look, I'm not condoning it. However, seeing shit like this, seeing how this shit went down, I can't blame Indiana. I can't blame them for that law. After seeing this, right?
This is like at the end of the day, and people don't even realize that they are public servants. Like they're to serve us, and it's like they act like we just can't. They're, you know what I mean? Like they're cross or they're
right.
You know, I don't know. This whole situation was crazy, and I don't understand how there's nothing else before that moment they pulled him out that car.
I just want to see, like I said, unless this dude was touching kids, there was this shit was not justified whatsoever.
Well, I want to ask though, so like, because I was looking at it from a different point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Not like I said earlier, not necessarily about the outcome. I was just looking at it from just, because none of us know what happened beforehand. So I was looking at it as if he did something, right? Just for example, say he did something, worth getting pulled out the car for. For all we know, they went up to the door, asking him for things he wasn't cooperating, whatever. Let's just say he was being an asshole. He wasn't doing what they asked. He told him to get out the car. He wouldn't do it. And they had to pull him out the car. I was just looking at it from like, what could have been done at that point? I know you said you talked to a friend, so maybe you asked them this, because I was thinking, trying to look at it like, what could he have possibly done? So it's like you feel like, okay, you get out the car, you ask him to do whatever. He says no. You ask him to lay down. He won't put his hands behind his bag. You know, then you try to get the hands behind the bag. He won't do it. He even said, I'll break your arm if you don't put your hand behind your bag. Still wouldn't do it. And then it's like they spray him with the pepper spray or whatever. That to me is like, is that the first escalation? Like, what's the first escalation? Then they still keep trying. He still can't get his hands behind his back. Then they tase him. Like, is that a rational second level of escalation? Like, because what else? You know what I mean?
So yeah.
And this is what I was just asking myself. Like, what could have happened? You know, it seems like in another instance, like, from all the videos that we've unfortunately seen, it's kind of like we never see that. We never see that escalation usually. You know what I mean? Like usually it's just they do something, boom, they get shot, and then we have an issue with it. But in this instance, it was literally every single step except for shooting this dude, and they couldn't get his hands behind his back. But so it's like I keep going back and forth. Don't get me wrong. Did they like that? Do 5 men need to beat 1 man? No. But I'm just saying, like, what would have been? Like what would have been the thing? It's like, because if they just would have shot him, it would have been a problem. So it's like, I don't get how 5 men can't take down one little skinny, dude.
These
I don't get that.
Cops can't fight.
No,
I know, but it's like, what would we have?
They can't.
I don't know what would have been.
There's nothing else they can't fight.
And plus, these cops apparently, according to Tyler Student, he actually brought it up, and he's right. Hold on, let me see. There we go. Those cops were all hired after 2020. They had almost no training. I'm not making excuses for them. I just wonder if it's a factor.
Like
it's
one
definitely
was a corrections officer.
Yeah, it's definitely a factor. Right? It's definitely a factor. Especially,
but you
put them on a
fucking. They don't teach these cops how to fight hand to hand.
They don't, and then you put them on a task force. You put them on a fucking task. Usually, task force is for cops that's seasoned. You know what I mean? Not some new niggas.
And you dealing with the public way more.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be put in a situation where you might have to fight and throw hands to save your life.
Yeah, they don't teach. They don't teach them, like, they don't give them no stipends for jujitsu. They don't teach them nothing. Like, they used to teach them here in Baltimore some shit called Hicks. That was some bullshit. The shit they was learning was some fucking bullshit. I'm like, what the fuck? It was dumb. I can't remember it all.
They were showing them old boy who was showing them how to disarm people with their guns, that kind of shit.
Oh yeah, where did he go?
Something like that. Not Detroit, not Detroit survival.
Oh,
but they had some shit called Hicks training, and my homeboy said, "Yo, this is the dumbest shit in the world, yo. This shit gonna get us killed."
Yeah.
They were teaching that Steven Seagal, son.
It must have been. It was dumb, yo. So, but you're right. But at the same time, right? 5 cops, right? 5 cops couldn't subdue a 180-pound man.
So do you feel like at that point they should have just cut it as a loss when he ran off and should have just went home, right?
So my homeboy was like, they should have fucking.
That's gonna make it worse.
But my homeboy also said this. He was like, he actually said exactly. He said, "Yo," he said, "Y'all fucking y'all crime task force. What the fuck is you chasing him for? He left his car right there.
Right.
You just
run the plate. Find out where the fuck he lived.
Right.
Meet him at his house.
Right.
That's a good point.
The car. He gonna have to come.
He gotta come get it.
That's a good point. And I feel like that would have, for me, been the only. That to me, that would have been the only solution in that instance for me, because we have to get to a point where it's like, I looked at it from the point where it's like, even if you got pulled over for a light, when things escalate, it now no longer matters why you're pulled over at that point. You know what I'm saying? So say you pull somebody over for a light, and then the person in the car, I don't know, throws a punch at you. Now it's no longer about why you were pulled over. Now it's another issue.
Right.
But a lot of people look at a situation like, oh well, this all happened because he was reckless driving. And that's not really the case. And that's why I think maybe it needs to come to a point where people run, and the thing that they're like pulled over for is something that you would have to pay $100 ticket for or whatever. Let them run. Let them go. They shouldn't even be allowed to pursue him, in my opinion. Because it's like,
I mean, you can pursue, but like, why pursue when you got all his shit right there?
That's what I'm saying. But it was like like you said earlier, if you're pulling him over for a suspected rape or like a convenience store robbery, then okay. But like, if you're pulling him over for something that he's gonna go get like a desk ticket or whatever we're all for, leave him alone.
Right. What's reckless driving? Like a point on your license? You know. Now I do have.
Yeah, but you could get that knocked down to a seatbelt.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Like.
You know, and I got another homeboy that's Baltimore County Police. He's like, yo, he said niggas be running for dumb shit. Like, we might be pulling them over for a broken taillight, and now I'm on a chase.
They be running.
Now I'm on a chase. Right? Now I'm on a chase. I'm on a high-speed chase for a taillight. They ain't got no points or nothing. I'm just about to pull them over for a taillight, and they running. Right? Like, and it's annoying, right. But we got to deal with that dumb shit. But then they was like, yo, but at the same time, the shit that these cops pull, that was some bullshit. That's what my homie said. So Joe Beard said maybe cops are sick of the shit they see on the daily with these wild kids, so free to wave the middle finger in their face and just take it. Just some thought on the way we treat our law enforcement. Now, there are some cops out there that had it, but at the same time, if your demeanor's that fucked up that because that's like, it's not, the job sucks, right?
Yeah.
That shit sucks. You're going to get called a bunch of sons of bitches, a bunch of FUs, a bunch of niggas. You're going to get called a bunch of shit. And you just got to eat that shit. But you got to have the mental capacity to eat that shit, though.
Right.
Right? Now, they relaxed a lot of standards after 2020. Especially after they start laying off all the cops because they wasn't taking that Yamin.
Mm-hmm.
So now you got all these young bucks that's like, that watch too much fucking Judge Dredd. And now they out here thinking they the law.
Nah, niggas discovered the wire.
Exactly. Right? They discovered the wire. They done seen we own this city, and they want to fucking redo that shit. They want to remake that shit in real life.
I sent you, my bad. I sent you a link to one of them cops that justify what that man did.
Oh shit. Let's see what we got here. And I know Joe Beard not justifying it. Like, Joe Beard a good dude. He just, throwing something out there. I got you. But at the same time, like my homeboy said, he said, because he trained cops for these situations. That's what he do. He like, yo, I tell my boys all the time, like, you're gonna get called a bunch of shit. Let your ego go. He said, because it becomes an ego thing for a lot of cops at that point. Because they tell you to do something, and you say no, now you feel like you got to prove yourself. You feel me? He like, let that shit go at the door.
Yeah, it's like they get the permission like to not have emotional intelligence.
Right.
And it's like, but we can get upset, and it's like you don't have that badge to to give you, whatever, a little more advantage, a little more wiggle room to be an asshole, I guess. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But if you're a cop, you probably have a whole Rolodex of things you can, pull out to like excuse, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to. Yeah. When you can't handle something, like getting called something. Because I told you I was in the military and I got pulled over. I was going to work. The speed limit was 40. I got pulled over. I looked at my thing. I was going 43. He asked, did I know why he pulled me over? He asked, did I know how fast I was going? I was like 43. And he was like 40. He said, well, no, I'm sorry. I said 44. He said, no, you're going 43. I looked at him. I said, are you fucking serious?
Wow.
Like, and then it's kind of like, I was talking to him like he was shit. And it was so ironic because it's like, I was wearing an Air Force uniform. He's wearing a cop uniform. Yeah, he thinks he deserves more respect than me. He was looking at me like, how dare you talk to me like that? Child, I'm on the way to work to fight for your freedom.
Hey, did you tell him I could put a drone on your house?
Yeah, it's like, man, it's just so funny. I thought about that on the way to work. I was like, he's talking to me like, he's looking at me like I can't talk to him how I want to. I'm thinking, why are you talking to me?
But that's how it is sometimes. You get these jaded cops, right? But these guys new on the force, they probably watched We Own This City and thought they could do that shit in their town. That's what it seemed like to me. I didn't watch that. You're the second person to tell me about that show. I mean? But that shit actually happened, and it happened like 2012. That shit was that's a real story. But the thing about it is, guys, like, you don't. This is another thing. Let's go to gun control. Because the people marching in the street right now, right? You got Antifa and them fucking shit up in like L.A. Shit ain't happening in L.A., but they fucking shit up in L.A. Right? Y'all out here wanting justice for this kid. I got you. Mind you, they were fired immediately. They were charged immediately. Now, I don't know if I would have gave them bail. I don't know how they'd have just been serving us. They just been in jail. I wouldn't have gave them no bail. Yeah, they got bail.
They all bailed out.
They all bailed out.
All bailed out. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They all bailed out. But this goes to the gun control thing, right? Because the same people in the streets right now rioting and pumping a fist with signs is the same people that want guns off the street. The same people that want gun control, gun reform. The same people that want, law-abiding citizens to not be able to carry guns and all that shit, right? You see, I got my fucking pistol braces off because can't have them. Now they coming for pistols. Now they coming for like AR pistols and shit. Now, like I said last week, now they coming for them shits. All right? The same people marching in the street for this shit is the same people that want to give the monopoly on power to the police.
Mm-hmm.
The same people want to give a monopoly on power to the police. You saying they out here killing us? They out here hunting black men down. Right? But turn around and be like, the only people that should have guns is police and the military.
Oh.
Make that shit make sense. And like I said,
you know what it is. They don't read that Second Amendment.
No,
they don't read the whole thing.
You want to fight the power, but then you want to give the power to the government. You don't trust the government, but the white man in the lab coat told you take this jab.
Fact. You want to give the government all the gas, but then you want to raise them.
Right. It's ridiculous, and I'm just sitting there like people don't. I was like, how can y'all not? How this don't make sense? Because, like I said, these cops, what they did is why people looking at this law in Indiana like, maybe that's not a bad idea. You know what I mean?
Like I said earlier, that wasn't the first time they did that. Immunity. You know that for a fact.
It's really not, honestly. Like, at this point, if they can feel like they can play God, why can't we? Like, I mean, that's just where it's at. That's just where I'm at. If they can play God, we should be able to do it too. That's it.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing we need to do, though, the biggest thing we need to do is get them out of our neighborhoods, right? And the way we get them out of our neighborhoods is, like you said, Kid Gravity, police our own neighborhoods.
Fact.
right?
That's why I said, because look at it this way: when you do the neighborhood watches, not only are you policing yourselves, but you're employing people.
Exactly.
You're gonna have your own lawyers. You're gonna have your own social workers. You're gonna have your own police force.
Like them chosen people.
They don't have to be non-lethal unless they're trained for it.
Like the chosen people.
You're gonna have the people taking back their own neighborhoods.
Yep. Go.
But what about in this situation though, where what if those 5 people were from that neighborhood, and then you get police
Don't
like
fucking
that
matter.
in their own neighborhood?
No, but here's the thing. So when a situation like that happens, the neighborhood watch is already patrolling. They take care of that situation. They're the intermediary. They call up the lawyer that they got in the group. Like, listen, we got a situation here. You turn the lawyer takes custody of the suspect, and he bring him to the police station. He handle all that. He handled the bail and all that. That way you ain't got to deal with no cops.
You gotta do it like the chosen people do it. You ever hear about
when you got a problem with them Jews? They do not call polies.
Nope.
They got the rabbi and they got their lawyers on standby, ready to go.
They deal with that shit themselves. You wanna know why the mob? You wanna know why the neighborhoods in the mob was so fucking squeaky clean? They dealt with that shit themselves.
Facts.
Because they don't want the block hot. Can't have police up and down your neighborhood. And I said this on Sonny Johnson's show, right? So I always make reference to a street here in Baltimore called Park Heights, right? Park Heights is intersected by a street called North Avenue. Not North Avenue, Northern Parkway, right? On the right side of the street, you think you in Kingston, right? Is shit going on. You got the cop lights. You got police on this heavy rotation right there. Fiends leaning and shit like that. But to the left of the street, I'm talking about not even 100 steps. Squeaky clean. You don't see none of that shit. You don't hear about none of that shit. Because that's the Jews' neighborhood. And they keep that shit on lock. You go to their schools. It's one of their schools around the corner from my house. They got some heavy duty gates. They got a nigga there with a plate carrier and a drop holster with a gun on it and a booth at the elementary school.
Yep.
They ain't playing.
In New York too.
They ain't playing.
Yeah, but that gets into a deeper conversation. I'm not sure if you want to have it.
No, go for it.
I think you and I have talked about this before, Cannon. I think we have. I'm not sure, but we don't have that unity like Jewish people do.
You gotta build it. We used to back in the 90s.
We have. I get if we build it, but that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like we got to build it first, then, I mean, I'd be down, but it's kind of like, I don't know.
But you got to get rid of the stop snitching culture too.
Exactly. That's kind of my point.
Which ironically started here.
That.
Yeah, which ironically started here. But yeah, you got to get rid of that. And I said that on Sunday thing. You got to get rid of that stop snitching culture too, right?
You do, because it's like, and that's kind of the thing I'm saying. Like in this situation, everything that's going on right now, like with the RICO charge or Young Thug and everything. You have the same community that's upset about this, saying free Young Thug, and it's like, and that's kind of what I'm saying. Like we have to get on a morality, like the same ground, before like. You're saying you're upset about this, you're in the streets about this, but then you're saying, 1, free Young Thug, and 2, exiling anyone that tells on him.
But that's the thing.
Like, what?
If Miss Pearl saw Ray Ray and them shoot a dude on the corner, Miss Pearl, her life in danger if she go to the police, right? Because like here in Baltimore, right? If you go into witness protection, you know what they do? If you live in West Baltimore, they send you to East Baltimore. That's it. That's how they do witness protection here. So if Miss Pearlie seen Ray shoot yo on the corner, and Miss Pearl go to the police, say I saw Ray shoot Miss Pearl on the corner, the neighborhood got to be ready to back Miss Pearl. Should Ray and them come with some retaliation?
It goes back to what I think was this in your town? Was Meteor Man in?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, Meteor Man was, and they shot that in my neighborhood. They shot that in my neighborhood. My mother was in that movie.
That's so funny. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about when you were talking about it.
My mother, she in the deleted scenes though, but she was in the movie. Yeah, I got to meet Eddie Griffin.
I was thinking about that. Remember, they were afraid when the golden rods came through.
But then they all came together at the end to help them out. But that's how that has to be. We got to be responsible for our own neighborhoods. And even if that mean that if Ray Ray and them come trying to look for some retaliation and one of us pop Ray Ray, that's what it's got to be. You got to make them.
If we can get to that point, then 100% we need to be. Well, I already, you know what I mean. We already.
But and then on the other end, like with the mob, if you're gonna be doing dirt in the street, you need to keep that street like under the radar, which means you need to have a hand on your people. All right, and if your people do some dumb shit, you need to handle your people before the police come around and squash whatever beef or whatever your boys is doing, because these young boys ain't got no respect out here no more. But we gotta start policing our own neighborhoods. But it has to stop. We had to get that stop snitching shit out of here. And real niggas will tell you, that stop snitching shit only is for niggas who's in the game. It don't go for the regular citizens. Real ones will tell you that. Right? But at the same time, you got to be prepared to fight for your neighborhood. You want police out of your neighborhood? Then the dudes out here doing dumb shit, you need to take care of that shit. I'm not telling you how to take care of that shit, but you need to take care of that shit. It keep niggas like this that in this task force out of your neighborhood who, like I said, they did that shit under their own police. Like, he had his body camera on, and they had the fucking police light that was watching the shit, and they did that shit like that. Which mean that tell me they've been doing that. They did that shit before. They've done that shit before.
And I have issue kind of like there's no other body cam footage. You know what I mean? Like I would have loved to have seen like the footage when he walked off from being pepper sprayed in the face. I would have loved to have had the other to have seen.
Oh, you didn't see that? I seen it. They have it out there. Yeah, it's a 6-minute video. He sprayed himself in the face, and he was because I had to go find the other videos because his video was him walking around trying to get his shit together. So
that's the one I saw.
So I had to go to the camera. They had the other camera, the blue light camera, or the police cam that was on probably like a light pole or some shit right there. And that's when you seen the rest of it. That's how you see them. I was saying the dude was throwing haymakers on this kid while they was holding him, while he out on his feet, while the other cop is walking around trying to get his shit together. It's just a sad. It was just a sad sight.
You think all 5 are gonna get charged?
I hope they do.
They all got second degree.
I hope they do.
I'm sorry, not charged. I'm sorry, convicted. I meant convicted. I'm sorry.
They gonna one of them gonna snitch.
Yeah.
Because it could be a whole lot more.
Because they know what's
gonna
happen.
Yeah, it might be a whole lot more to this situation than them just beating him up. He might be like, "Look, I'll tell you about our whole situation. I'll tell you about everything we did. I want immunity, or some shit like that."
I'll be like, "Screw you." If I'm his mama, I'm like, listen, I don't want no immunity. They got to go to jail. Right. My tax dollars are not paying for their safety. Nope.
Facts.
And Ben Crump like, listen, they called me. Hang up the phone.
There has to be.
I don't want to hear nothing about no settlements. Hang up the phone. Like, listen, I'm going all the way to this. This man is going to be put on CNN, MSNBC. This trial is going to be on C-SPAN. That's how far I'm going with it.
A lot more is going to come out because you can tell, even though, they acted swiftly, the police chief, is very outspoken about what's going on from what I've seen. But I think there's a lot more, obviously, to it because it's like, where is everything before? Why?
That's because they was trying to figure out it has to be something here.
Has to be.
Like is there a gun in the car? Did they sprinkle some crack on them? Like they were trying to find something to justify what happened, and they couldn't find shit.
I got a theory I just thought of.
What's that?
We know he a skateboarder, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if he had an interaction with one of them and he got away?
Well, they said he was coming back from taking pictures of a sunset or something like that.
No, but what I'm saying is he was a skateboarder, and you know how skateboarders are. They like to just grind wherever they can. What if
I got you.
He got into it with one of them?
Another encounter, and then they
Right.
Got you.
Right.
It's something because, and the way he was talking to him, he was like, dude, like, you're tripping. Are you doing the most? Like, he wasn't talking to them like he wasn't talking to him like he was afraid at first. He was just like, he was real calm, like, you're doing the most. Like, what's up? Like, you know what I mean? And it was like, I thought that was really weird because the first video I saw didn't have sound. And I was like, what's going on? So then I went to go find.
Well, usually the body cams, they say they don't put the sound on. That's got to be the other thing too. We got to push to make sure that them body cams on 24/7. They should not have access to turn them off.
Right.
Only time you turn it off is when you charge it.
Yeah, I don't know. And they're going to, no, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to talk about him, but they're going to say he has something going on because I don't know how someone gets pepper spray in the face that much and just can see still. It took the other 2 cops out.
I don't know.
That was a trip.
Them cops, boy.
Yeah.
Them cops. Hey, by the way, Blue Lives Matter. Y'all weren't outside yesterday. I'm just here for y'all. Blink twice if you guys were alive. I know Trump was talking yesterday.
Well, I'm upset because I had said this to a friend of mine. BLM, where are they at either though?
Shit, they I just read something. They people in the streets they out for blood with Black Lives Matter. They had it.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, they was talking real greasy about Hawk Newsom and everything. Real greasy.
Yeah, because they should be more. Like I haven't heard nothing from your boy. What do we call him? Talcum X?
Talcum X?
He better keep his fucking.
That's Shamel T. Washington.
Yeah, like we haven't heard. Like what's going on? Like
if he know what's good for him,
he
he better
was
keep
calling
that
out
shit.
Biden a few weeks ago. He was calling out Biden on some hypocrisy a few weeks ago. So you know the grift getting fucked up if Sean King's calling out Biden on some hypocrisy.
He got a mortgage to pay, y'all.
Shout out to Martin Luther King.
Faith Thomas says, I would like to come on the show to talk about how mental health can and sometimes does play an unspoken role in these situations.
it does.
Shit, why not?
I don't know. Would anything change for you guys if I'm sure I know the answer, but it's just for the sake of conversation. If it comes out that Tyree was under the influence of something or
No, that shit wouldn't.
No.
That wouldn't change.
Like that.
Yeah, it wouldn't
Don't beat
change
that
a
man
thing
like
for
that.
me. It wouldn't change a thing for me.
yeah,
Not
but it's
at
just for
all.
the sake of conversation. Well, because I'm like,
I
how
don't
can a
care.
man? I don't understand how a man is that damn strong. I get flight or flight, but
No,
damn.
that's adrenaline.
Yeah.
Right. I've seen cops follow like people 4 or 5 times over the speed limit, follow them home.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we not gonna do that. Nah.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care if he had cocaine like that bear in that movie had.
Yeah.
Nah. You don't beat that man like that.
No, they beat him like they had a grudge. They
You know
beat,
what's so funny too? Outside, what do y'all think outside? Because I analyzed it. Do you think outside of the kick, that's a normal like police officer?
fuck no.
Because I'm like,
No.
because I talked to some people. They're saying they've seen like cops, you know what I mean, do worse. Like in
I've seen
the street.
cops.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I ain't seen cops do worse. I seen cops do some shit, but I ain't seen nothing like that.
Yeah.
I seen cops throw people
Yeah.
into cars.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've seen them
But
throw them in the
nah,
cars, and
he
they came
backed
back.
up for that
They came
kick.
back.
No, the kick
they
part was
add-
crazy.
Now I've seen people get thrown in the cars and come back 30 minutes later fucked up, but like
Yeah.
they just got beat up a little bit. I ain't never
Yo.
seen that.
Yeah. That
Y'all
was
remember the
wild.
movie New Jersey Drive?
Yeah. Dang, he took it back.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
when they caught Midget in the alley?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they did to that man.
Yeah.
Except Midget got
That
to go
kick
home.
was someone just said. I agree. I think that kick. I think that's when I was like, this is personal.
That's
it
the
has to
soccer
be.
kid. But then when I want, like, I can't, I just can't show it. Like, you guys know where to find it, but at the same time, like, matter of fact, you should be able to see it on my my Twitter. But when the 3 of them picked him up and he was out on his feet, and that one cop was throwing them haymakers at his face, I'm like, yo, nah, this ain't no police stop.
Oh, no.
This ain't no police stop.
The one where he had his
Yeah.
hands behind his back and the dude went behind him and then like snuck him from behind when he was restrained. I don't know if you saw that one. Like he walked around, the one who got, I don't know if it was the one with the baton, but a cop walked behind them when they were holding his hands behind his back and like punched him in his face from behind, like trying to knock him out.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
He hit him several times like that.
yeah.
He hit him several times like that.
Y'all did all that, didn't knock that, and y'all didn't.
And that's
kill
what
that
I was
dude.
thinking. How have you not knocked this dude out? I've seen people knocked out, getting slapped at Smackfest. And they could not knock that dude out. I'm like, what is going on?
My man Reaction PR said he think it's more to the story because he's saying he think it's personal. He said he think it's more to the story. He said those cops was too extra and not one of them was going to not one of them stop what was going on.
Did his child's mother come out?
I don't know. He said he had a 4-year-old kid.
What
right?
if he was banging one of them,
bruh?
What if that was it?
Bruh. What if he was banging one of the dudes?
No,
he was banging that his baby's mother was one of the cops' squeeze.
Who knows?
It was weird. I think it was so weird how nonchalant they were after the fact. They act like they were about to go home and have dinner. Like the way that. No, I'm saying that's my point. Like they really were acting as if
they were nonchalant about it after the fact. They left him sitting right there at the wheel well next to the fucking tailpipe of the truck, the car. Like it was just bad. Then you see the ambulance pull up. You see
when they were discussing it, like they were acting as if like they just got done playing a pickup game, talking about their injuries, talking about like going.
One said he refucked his hand up.
Yeah.
Like what you mean you refucked your hand up? What you do? Who else you beat up like that?
Right.
I'm telling y'all, them dudes was in that neighborhood doing some dirt, bro. Now
they were too comfortable with doing what they did. Now, usually, like probably most cops, they probably don't even want to get into shit like that. Like you want to come to work, you probably want to do the bare minimum and go home.
Yeah.
And you want to probably repeat this shit for at least 30 years so you can retire with full benefits. These motherfuckers, I don't know what they were on.
They thought they was in Street Kings is what it was.
It was weird. I mean, I'm using a loose, maybe weird, it's too loose term, but I mean, it was kind of like you said, like they used to it, like they do it. That's what they do every day. And like you said, like afterwards, it was like they were just too comfortable with it. Like
like they was waiting for him to come home.
Yeah.
And they caught it. He on his way down the street, and he pulled out on him. My man Rock, let me see. Why is this? Hold on, real quick. I swear, yo, I gotta get a new chat app. This joint is annoying. They don't even. I keep it, but they don't even maintenance it no more. I gotta find a new joint. Here we go. I gotta redo it like this.
Yeah, one thing for sure though, I haven't seen. I don't know if I haven't seen anybody justify it. Now,
I'd send Candace something.
Yeah, I'm about to hold on.
In the chat.
Oh, okay.
Fred Reaction PR says Fred Williamson and Jim Brown for Neighborhood Watch.
Facts. 3 the hard way. I find a Jim Kelly, but it ain't lied.
What's-her-calm didn't even justify it. Your boy, kid.
Who?
Who, Tatum?
Yeah,
he did.
He did?
Yeah, he said some of them shouldn't go to jail.
He was giving them bail.
Fact.
He was giving them bail. He sat up here and said, well, you know, they were wrong, but you know, he should have complied, like shit like that. Like,
yeah, he talking about some of them shouldn't have went home. Some of them should have went home. Yeah, they should have got charged.
I think he talking about the 2 sheriffs that was in the initial stop.
Oh, so 2 people in the initial stop didn't
There were 8
follow
cops all together.
Yeah, it was a white, because the one stop at the traffic light, it was a white cop's camera who got out and he had the taser in his hand. His fat ass wasn't chasing him down.
He didn't get charged, by the way.
He didn't. All right. His fat ass wasn't chasing him down. You heard him wheezing when he started trying to run. My man Sonny.
That was Vic Mackey.
My man Sonny say, Scorpion unit no different than LA Crash unit. No worse than NYPD TNT. Those type of units are all about putting hands and feet on folks. Facts. He's right.
Anti-crime too in New York. And
we were just talking about that, Sonny. We was talking about the gun trace task force, and we had another unit like that in the early '90s. Yeah. I mean, one of my homies I did security with, who had this big ass knot on his head. What the fuck happened to you? He said, nigga. He said I was walking home. Caught me some weed. He said the knockers jumped out on me, snatched my ass up, took me to an alley. He said them niggas held me, and he said one cop just threw a punch. He said I fucking went like this, and he broke his fucking hand on my forehead, bitch. But they do that, yo. That's how it be. Like this shit ain't a one-off. I'm gonna put it like that.
Nah.
This shit ain't a one-off. This shit happens.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
And that's the sad part, that we like people in the hood. People know. We seen it. We see it happen. We seen it happen. You know what I mean? But don't nobody give a shit. Don't be caring, because you know why? It's a shitty neighborhood, so fuck them. That's how these aldermen and these city councilmen and these Democratic, that's how they carry it. Look at Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Baltimore.
See, where we mess up is that we're out protesting now in every city, but we're not showing up to the city council meetings where we can be heard and we can actually make these changes. So you protest when some shit happens, you be a part of the wave, woohoo, I was outside, and then nothing happens. Every cycle keeps continuing and continuing and continuing.
Yeah. But the thing about it is, most of the time, these people that the police is beating up, they doing dirt in the street. So they can't go to the police like, yeah, I was on my corner and the knockers came and jumped on me. They ain't gonna do that, because they might got warrants, or they selling dope, and they getting got. So and the knockers knew that shit. This shit right here would look like it was personal. This shit like here, like they was waiting for that nigga. But you know, it's just speculation. Hopefully more stuff come out. We'll see.
I want to see that police report.
I do too.
I want to see what they wrote.
I do too.
What they wrote.
Because now that their chief coming out and she like, yo, the shit they wrote, we don't see it. We don't see it.
Mm-hmm. Be interesting.
She already
They digging into her past too.
Of course they are.
So they're gonna fire.
Cause I know they said the two sheriffs, so they wanted to get, because he's like, they didn't do anything about it. I'm like, I didn't even see the sheriffs there until after they beat the shit out of them. Mm-hmm. The one was initially there, but then I think a couple white cops pulled up after the fact. See, when you are the issue, how can you protest the issue? I always like, maybe protest and do something, maybe it don't. But you gotta be active in your community. It ain't just coming out and marching down the street every time some shit like this happen. You gotta get a hold of, like we said, you gotta get a hold of your neighborhood. First, you gotta get that fucking stop snitching mentality out of the neighborhoods.
Right. Like you don't see. Do you see the redacted protesting? Do you see Hispanic community protesting? Do you see Asians protesting when shit happens like that? No, they don't. They lay low. They go through the court and they get shit done. Like they're not out here with this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? There's only white and black people that always somehow manage to get fucked up behind some bullshit, behind this kind of shit.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, it's like, yo, you got to get a hold of your community. Period. You want this shit to stop? You want the police brutality to stop? Get a hold of your neighborhood. Start being proactive in your neighborhood. Get the bad element out of your neighborhood.
I was just gonna say,
I mean, you gotta.
They need to clean it from the inside out.
Yeah, you gotta tell on them. Tell on them. And if something come back on you, be prepared to handle yourself.
All right.
You know what I mean? That's what we have to do. Not saying don't protest when it's necessary. Do that. But we see that the powers that be don't give a shit about these protests. Biden going to use Nichols' family as cannon fodder at the fucking State of the Union, and then toss him.
Probably invite his mama there and the stepfather.
Yeah, and the son. Sniff his son's hair. You know, like, and then that's a wrap.
Sniff his son's hair.
Yeah, that's a wrap, bro.
You know Biden going to that funeral, right?
Oh, I'm sure he will.
Because, you know, Kamami she can't be bothered. She said, I already did Buffalo. I'm not doing another one.
It's crazy. And this is this is crazy. This is such a crazy situation.
We need to protest the powers that be. Jay Tucker said it. We need to protest the powers that be.
Yeah.
We need to get them up out the paint.
That's really what that is. We've been doing that. We've been how long? over the last 3 years, how many protests have you seen?
Damn,
right?
Is that right, Gully? Gully says she got fired in ATL for a similar unit whooping folk ass.
Yeah, one of them got caught with little pictures. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
She ain't prosecute that man.
Damn.
Yeah, so
damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's why I said she about to get fired.
Yeah, like that's how you can't protest the issue when you the issue. You need to take. We see that. We see you can't protest the issue when you the issue. You need to take matters into your own hands. You need to. And I'm not saying go out here and firebomb police cars, because no, don't do that. That ain't the way you do that. You fight that shit in the courts. You get on you first. What we need to do is start participating in these local elections. Participate in your local elections.
You gotta get outside.
Stop fucking voting for the mayor because he got a D behind his name. I'm not saying people in my chat doing that, but I'm just saying in general, anybody that see this shit. All right, we got a mayor. We got our mayor here in Baltimore, my age, nigga, 36. He like 37 or some shit like that. All right, and he just ain't doing shit. He stopped the Baltimore City Commissioner from implementing a really good idea that would stop crime here, which I argue to say it came from a guy named Ed Norris, who was the commissioner here back in the day. He used to be the commissioner in New York in the 90s. Well, not the commissioner, but he was a detective in the 90s. Became commissioner here. He stopped that shit. Then shit got bad, and then tried to implement the shit that the commissioner was going to do in the first place. They not prosecuting nobody here for strong arm robberies and shit like that. They walking just like they doing in New York. But they voted for him because he young, he black, and he got a D behind his name, in front of his name.
And he good for a soundbite.
Correct.
I don't know enough about Westmore to speak on him. I know that he Obama light.
Son, I did a whole expose on that man. That man getting money from Hollywood blood.
Wasn't he was the CEO of Robin Hood, right?
Yes, sir.
He Obama light. I guarantee they run him in 2028.
I'm throwing dirt on that man's name for the next 5 years.
You know what I mean? Like, I met him for a split second. He seemed okay.
I hate to say, y'all in trouble in that state.
I already know, bro. We in real trouble. You got to get a hold of your local elections.
What's going to end up happening is all them illegals, Abbott and when they keep sending up there, New York going to get tired. He going to run his mouth and say, come down to Maryland.
He better shut the fuck up. But the thing about it is,
guess what he gonna do? All them row houses you got, he finna give it to him.
Oh, fix them up and everything.
So every other row house is gonna be a different ethnicity neighborhood.
That shit pissed me. I'm gonna talk about that in a second. But so like I said, you gotta get a hold of your local government, man. You gotta hold them accountable. A lot of these guys, y'all don't know this. A lot of y'all city councilmen, y'all aldermen, they in the pockets of like developers.
Yes, sir.
They in the pockets of developers and shit like that. All they worried about is getting they cut when they gentrify your neighborhood, or they come through and fix it up. I remember. So Catherine Pugh, the one we just had, the mayor we had, they got locked up for the books, for the Healthy Holly books. I was delivering some material to a developer. He's like, he was a hood nigga. Like he started having like he started buying houses and flipping them. You could tell he was doing it off of dope money or whatever. He was like, yeah, it's this chick in the city council named Catherine Pugh. We got her in our pocket. We about to make her the mayor. And no shit. She was in the pockets of the developers. You gotta vote the people in that's got your best interests at heart. You gotta fund them. You can't if they funded by some big interest group, nah, get them out of there. They gotta be beholden to you. So when shit like this happen, they get on it. That's how you do it. You gotta beat them at their own game. Right now, protesting, all that's doing is getting you Black Lives Matter written on the fucking black top of a basketball court.
Or in the middle of the street.
Or in the middle of the street on some football player's fucking helmet.
Oh wait, in the middle of the street, that's getting gentrified. That's when I forgot to add that.
Yeah, and look, don't get me wrong. That's another thing you need to do too, people. What Jay-Z saying 444, yo? Young niggas out here dying over streets they don't own.
Oh yeah.
They dying over streets they don't even own, or neighborhoods they don't even own. You want to stop the gentrification? Buy these properties up, yo.
Facts.
You can't
What they selling them row houses for, about 100,000?
Now this is the other thing I'm pissed off about. Them row houses, they like dilapidated, right? Like roof is missing, like it need to be rebuilt. Period. Either you're gonna knock the whole fucking row down and then build again, or they got some people that can come in and build from within the shell out, right?
Right.
You'll see a house listed for like, let's just say, all right, this one listed for 40 grand. So you be like, all right, cool. I got 40. I'm gonna buy this house for 40 grand. I can fix this up for like another 60 grand. I can sell this bitch for like 210 or some shit like that, maybe. But then they're like, oh, hold on. Not only do you gotta pay the 50 grand, you need to pay another 30 grand in back taxes that the previous owner didn't pay. That's why we got so many fucking row homes just sitting. Mm-hmm. Now they try to do the dollar home stuff like they did back in the day. Where you just pay $1 for a row home, that's yours. That shit fell through. Because they want revenue, right? But at the same time, a lot of people held accountable to the developers. Like, how hard would it be to like go down? Because it's blocks in Baltimore where the entire block is vacant. You'll go down the street, and then it'd be 20 houses, 10 on each side, all them bitches boarded up. It's like, there's no reason for that.
Yeah, I saw that shit when I went down there, and then like, I think I went like a half mile down, and it was just nice row of houses, like one level houses. I'm like, I had to ask my friend, I was like, why y'all don't just buy this shit up and make your own little communities, your own little gated communities?
It's too much bullshit when you go to buy from the tax sale.
Yeah,
that's why, and that shit pisses me off. Like, yo, if you saying this house is 50, take the fucking 50 grand and go. Fuck them taxes that the other owner ain't pay.
Right.
And let me build this out. Probably get a whole lot of people ready to do that. You know what I mean?
You're gonna get me back on the taxes anyway.
Right. You know what I mean?
And then when I do sell it out when it's ready, you probably gonna get 4 times what you got.
Right. Right. You
get at the end of the year with the property tax.
Right. Exactly.
Because y'all, as soon as I build that shit up, y'all gonna raise the tax over there.
It's a couple.
And I'm going up the community.
There's a couple neighborhoods where I was looking at like, yo, back in the day, like back in the 60s and like the 50s, them bitches was nice. Right? It was real nice. And then you look at it from then and today, like, damn, what the hell happened? Nice. Some row homes, like, they could look like the brownstones from New York.
Yeah. It's a nice 3.
We got, yeah.
Man, if I had 100 million, boy, I'd buy all that shit. Give me 5 years, that whole thing. I'll make that thing look like DC.
Yeah.
It'll just be number black families in there.
And you can sell them for decent price. Like it was one dude he was buying them, fixing them up. It was one he was selling for like 160. I'm like, damn, this bitch look good for 160.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want that because you got Johns Hopkins, they buying up everything over east, and you got University of Maryland buying everything up over the west. But you got
they doing it down here in Atlanta too.
But you got these like neighborhoods in between, like Fulton Avenue. If you're ever from Baltimore, you know what Fulton Avenue. Go down any street off Fulton Avenue. Go down any street off Pulaski Street. Shit look crazy. Go down any street off Biddle, down the hill. That Johns Hopkins ain't bought up and turned into some cancer research center or something. Like, all that shit is vacant, yo. Mm-hmm. But if you own a stake in your neighborhood, go buy that shit up. Guess what? You ain't got to worry about that gentrification. You do that shit yourself. But people, they just is stuck in this generational rut, man. They stuck in this generational rut where they just like my grandmother some people like, well, my grandmother owned this house, then my mother, she lost it, and then she started renting it back. Yep. And then they become renters.
Reminds me of something that happened recently. I forgot where it was. Some park that like the families, like, you know, grandfather had or whatever, got it from kind of like a form of reparations, sort of. It was like a land that was given back.
You talking about Manhattan Beach? You talking about Bruce Beach?
I think so. Yeah. Then they got it back and then sold it again, I believe. Yeah. Then, like, they won it back in court and then they sold it again. Mm-hmm. My understanding. I'm like, and that's the situation, kind of like.
Yeah, because the city want that revenue.
Right, but they had got it back because I believe the first time it was taken like via like eminent domain. Like, right. It was like condemnation.
No, but that's what I'm saying. They know the value of that property.
Right, but I'm saying they fought for it back and sold it.
Right.
It's like, why did you sell it? You know, that's like.
Yeah, you dumb. You gave away $100 million property for $20 million.
Yeah, like
come on now.
DD,
and they're gonna build up hotels and shit on there. It's gonna be worth 5 times that
way more
in a few years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know who.
Come on now.
Yeah.
I'll just call you DD.
But they say the white wife. They said the white wife of that man told to do that.
Oh shit.
Oh damn.
So like DD said, you could buy those Baltimore row homes for like $5 to $10K. Yeah, you can, but then they make you pay them back taxes on it. That's the shit that be fucked up. And then the ones that ain't got back taxes on that they let you have for that $5 or $10K, they in like the shittiest neighborhood that you can like you can be in. Like, it's so, my family business, we get called by people from like DC and Virginia because they'll buy them properties up, but they don't know the neighborhoods them properties is in and how bad them neighbors is so we could call like, we need you to how much you gonna charge us to go and clean out the backyard, because people start using that bitch as a dump.
Yep.
And and the city be on that ass like, all right, y'all wasn't worried about this shit when it was vacant. Now this motherfucker in DC own it. Now you want to tax this nigga for getting the trash out the backyard. You know what I mean? And we go in there and we do that. But these people sit on these houses. They don't come and fix them. They just own the property, hoping that Johns Hopkins gonna make their way that way and make them an offer.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's how they do that shit. Cause some of these neighborhoods, and then another thing is that the reason why a lot of these developers ain't coming into Baltimore City, like not Baltimore City, but the outskirts, right? The shit you see on the wire, right? It's because it's fucking dangerous. It's fucking dangerous. I deal with like builders all the time. People that buy them property, like, yo, motherfuckers just came through and took all my copper. Yo, I had 10 grand on me. I had 10 grand on me to pay for this concrete. I got robbed getting out my truck. Who want to deal with that? Who want to deal with that?
I'm saying until we clean it, from the inside out, it's gonna be hard to do what we're saying.
You think the city just gonna knock all that shit down?
Catherine Pugh started doing that. Catherine Pugh started doing that a little bit, but she was also selling. After they knocked it down, she was selling bitches right to the developers. She was putting the developers on with them bitches, not just regular citizens. She's putting the developers on with that shit. I mean, the gentrifiers, guys. The ones y'all called the gentrifiers.
I ain't gonna lie to you, they doing it down here in Atlanta too with Bankhead.
Oh yeah, they've been doing that. Didn't they change it to like some guy's name? Bankhead. Mm-hmm. They changed the name. They call
try
it
to.
Yeah, they're trying to.
Try to. Yeah.
Joe Beer says
they're doing that shit all over Jersey, all over the place. All these quote luxury apartments just popping up everywhere.
You know about Jersey City, right?
Yeah.
The further you away from the water, the cheaper it get.
Yeah.
You get to buy that waterfront. You talking about $2,500 to like $5,000 for a 1-bedroom.
Some of them now going for like $8,000. Like But the worst part is because Jersey City is only right across from New York, right? New York is even worse because most of those apartments, especially right down in like from 34th Street going down, some of those apartments are at least 10, 15, 5-figure amounts for rent. For rent. Yeah. So when you entice people, when you build on all these properties just across the river in Jersey for like $3,000 and $2,000, they can afford it. It's not an issue, you know. Yeah. And it's not that big of an inconvenience because they can just take the train right to New York, like 25 minutes.
Jump on that light rail.
Joe Beer says Kim Klacik had a similar plan to flip homes in Baltimore. She did. It was actually the plan that they did back in the 90s with the dollar homes, which was a good idea. But you know, she got an R behind her name. She didn't win. You know what I mean? They put Kwesi Mfume, which I know Kwesi Mfume. He's a really, really nice guy. A really great guy. Really great guy. I don't agree with his policies. I don't. He won because of his name.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as
and
that.
His history. Don't forget about his history.
Oh yeah, I know about his history.
Yeah.
Like I said, he a really good guy. Go to my church. He the only person I ever seen that like even he's consistently go to church. He ain't there because he trying to win. You know, he there every Sunday. Nice guy. He know my kids and everything. You know what I mean? But his policies? Nah, I'm sorry, I don't agree with you.
Yo, Cannon, let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
Do you think Baltimore would have been better if they had someone like Marion Barry?
I think Baltimore would have been better if we kept Kurt Schmoke. Kurt Schmoke and Marion Barry was around the same time. Kurt Schmoke was a really good mayor. Kurt Schmoke was a really good mayor. I think he's still teaching at like Howard. He's teaching law or something. He was the one that came with the idea about, remember in The Wire they had Amsterdam?
Yes, sir.
He came up with that idea. Treat it as a public health issue and not a criminal thing. That was him. You know what I mean? But the thing is, you can't get these guys like Brandon Scott. I don't know who he's beholden to, but he just want to be an activist. That's what he acts as a fucking activist. That's it. I don't know if he bought and paid for or what, but he acts as an activist. That's what he does. You know what I mean? But back to what happened with Tyre Nichols, man. It's just tragic and it should not have happened. I don't give a shit if he was over the fucking yellow line. I don't care if he banging one of those cops' girlfriends. I don't give a shit if he had weed in the car, if he had coke in the car. That shit shouldn't have happened. Period. Y'all took turns on this nigga.
Seriously. Like a gang initiation.
Exactly. Y'all took turns on him. Y'all stomped this man out in the street. Y'all beat him to death. With no remorse. Because y'all niggas do that shit all the time. Y'all beat niggas up all the time. This time y'all went too far.
Yeah.
And I would think that unit in particular, they're not the only ones to do it.
No, I guarantee it's not.
That, as far as I'm concerned, that's probably standard operating procedure in that department. That whole police department.
Now, who's to say? Maybe fucking Boss Hogg, if he would have got down that bitch, maybe he'd have stopped it. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Somebody should have been like, okay, well, wait a minute, okay, let's like.
Or maybe Boss Hogg saw
that all 5 of them were doing it like in tandem, like the fact they were all, that's how you know it wasn't. Well, we know it wasn't the first time.
Or maybe Boss Hogg saw that shit and he was like, I'm gone. I'm not sticking around for this shit.
Yeah.
But wouldn't tell.
And the fact that like none of them was looking at it like it was something that's not right. Like none of them were like, oh, we should do this. It's just like they were just kind of like, hold him this. No, move out the way. I'm about to hit him in the back. Da-da-da. It's like, golly. Yeah. They cleared the way for him to kick him in the head. I
mean, like I said, I think, and people can, be mad all they want. I think being an officer is a tough job. I think that, if done correctly, it could be a noble, occupation. Thing is, it's got to be some checks and balances, especially with them units like that, where you give them carte blanche to do whatever they want in these neighborhoods. You know, I know good cops. But I've also seen the worst. Personally. You know what I mean? Like, people be like, you know, is it like The Wire down in Baltimore? Yeah, it is. I would argue to say it got a little bit better, maybe a little bit, just because they tore down the projects. But people still around though. It's a rough job here. However, all my friends are like, yo, that shit was unjustified. That shit was crazy. I can't believe they took it that far. I understand tuning some. One of my friends was like, yo, I understand tuning somebody up a little bit for making you run. But that shit, he's like, yo, they was trying to kill that nigga. That's how they looked at it. Like, yo, they were trying to kill that man, yo. That shit. A lot of them saying, yo, that shit seemed personal. That shit seemed like they had more than one encounter with yo. That's what a lot of them say.
Yeah, because it's like, what was the end game? Was the end game truly that you just wanted him to put his hands behind his back? Because there was a moment where they were, and you were punching him in the face. And
it's just everything, like all the protocol. They didn't follow none of that shit. My homeboy said, yo, they was green, yo. He's like, he said none of that shit that they did will fly in any department.
And when they chased after him, or from the beginning?
When they caught up, well, first off, I don't know if they gave him a chance to get out the car, because we don't know. And then he didn't, and then he snatched his ass out of there. Now that's Pennsylvania versus Mims. For a lot of people, y'all don't know that. I think it's the shittiest law ever. But Pennsylvania versus Mims says if a police feels like they got a cause for you to step out the car, you got to step out the car, or they can snatch your ass out the car. Right? Now, I don't know why they wanted him to get out the car. Maybe they want to get him out the car, put him in a squad car, take him somewhere and beat his ass. We don't know. Right? Because like I said, just the more and more I look at it, the more and more you think about it, look like they was after him. You know. But you have to get out the car in that situation. The thing is though, why did they want him to get out? Why did they want him out of the car?
And what caused, or what required 5 people when he did? Like, that's what I'm wondering. Like, what required that many people?
Because they were treating that shit like a felony traffic stop.
Right.
That's what it seemed like to me. They was treating it like a felony traffic stop. Now, a felony traffic stop, you just rob somebody, or you know what I mean? Or you just, you know, hit and run, something. You know what I mean? That's a felony traffic stop. Or you ran from that's a felony traffic stop. That's the only time I've ever seen a bunch of cops get out the car.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, for reckless driving.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's bullshit. My homeboy even said, yo, before he said, yo, that shit. He said that reckless driving shit. That's bullshit. I guarantee it. He said when you in a attack unit like that, you don't fucking pull nobody over. Period. For no fucking reckless driving, unless you got your eye on that man. So, this shit is all bad all the way around.
Yeah, it is.
You know, his son was 4 years old. They said he don't got a dad no more. You know what I mean? A mother lost a son, and she was like, "Yo, I know that a lot of these people out here, they be like, oh, my kid was a good boy. He was a good boy." She's like, "No, my son was really a good boy." Like she was recognizing that, you know, yeah, it'd be my mother's out here saying my son, he was the greatest. Meanwhile, her son was, you know, he done shot somebody. You know what I mean? He in some gang. But she's like, my son was really a good boy. I mean, the only thing I see, the nigga, he was a skater, and they said he was a painter or something like that. And if anything else was around, like if they found some shit in his car, you know what I mean? If they found some shit in his car, like a gun or some, you know what I mean? That shit would have came out already.
Right.
I think that's how they know they fucked up big time. And if this lady had this TAC units, like they said, it was in Atlanta, and she took this shit up to fucking, took this shit to Memphis.
Right.
And she got this TAC unit again. You know what I mean? She need to fucking just hang it up.
She does. Yeah, she does.
She need to hang it up.
I don't see how somebody can get fired for one type of unit and then go to somewhere else and get hired for the same type of unit. I don't even understand that.
No, she was creating the units.
Oh, okay.
But I'm telling you,
did y'all see where did y'all see where there was, I guess there was like there was a guy that was on the local news saying that he had reported that unit to the police department and they did nothing about it?
Is that right?
Yeah, he's on he was being interviewed and he stated that he had been, I think, stopped by that same unit. I don't know if it was a month before ahead of time or something like that. And he reported them and they did nothing. So
that's interesting. I'm trying to figure out why you frozen. It's all good.
Yo, I got kicked earlier. I had to come back in.
Oh shit, for real. All right, let me see if I can fix this shit real quick. But yeah, so you know, I'm praying for that man family. I hope they find peace in this shit. And I hope they get justice, man. And for all y'all niggas in the street rioting and shit, stop that shit, yo. Stop.
Yeah.
Just stop. Why y'all in LA fucking rioting and looting in LA?
Seriously.
That nigga's like 1,000 miles away from the shit. But y'all rioting for what? They got fired. They got charged. I wouldn't have let these niggas out on bail. But that's something you got to take up with the judge.
Right.
At least wait for the fucking verdict to come down after the what's the name? The trial.
It's gonna be a mess if that, you know what? It's gonna be a mess.
Nah, they ain't getting off.
Nah, I don't think they're gonna get off on this.
Nah,
if they get off on this, then if these niggas in the street looting them, be like, well,
I'll tell you this, and this is probably gonna sound fucked up, but if they let them off, these cities are gonna burn.
Yeah, they got to treat it like Freddie Gray. Thing about it is, I got my whole theory on that shit. I don't think no cops should have got what they got. Cause I don't think they fucked them up like that. We know that he was on.
Oh, I know that was a weird situation.
He already was in the hospital he was already in the hospital for falling off a bike and fucking his shit up. He was on house arrest. He was selling dope. He ran from 2 bike cops that wasn't even looking for the nigga. They were just riding, but he ran. That's just cause to give chase, I guess. They chased after him. Ain't like they caught him in the alley and beat him up. They caught him out on the street. They don't got no camera footage of him getting tuned up. None of that shit.
Yeah, like how in the hell did he get in a van and come out paralyzed?
Marilyn Mosby just threw that whole rough ride bullshit out just to shut everybody up. She threw that rough ride bullshit out there just to shut everybody up. That's what happened with that. I knew all them cops were gonna go. I said one gonna get sacrificed, but the rest of them gonna get off. And they sacrificed the fucking paddy wagon driver.
The driver?
Yep.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it was a dude
that got
interviewed. It was a dude that got interviewed. It was like, yo, it was a smooth.
They said the driver did it. The driver paralyzed.
Yeah, but it was another guy that was in the joint with him. He was like, yo, it was a smooth ride, yo. It was a smooth ride all the way to the station. He was like, this nigga was back there wilding. Next thing you know, he changed his story and ain't nobody heard from that dude.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Nah, they paid him off.
I guarantee it or something.
He probably down on the Eastern Shore right now.
Yeah, well, he put his ass in jail on some shit that he did. Fucking knows. But
what, back in '87?
But that shit crazy, man. All I'm gonna say is, man, like I hope they get what they deserve, yo. Now some new shit come out.
We know that trial ain't gonna start till next year. We know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll bring that trial. They'll bring that trial out
to make sure we don't forget that name.
November 8th, November 4th, 2024, right? November 4th, 2024, we got an election. This fucking trial gonna happen fucking September.
No, it's gonna start that Monday.
The verdict going
it's gonna be October surprise.
Yeah. The verdict gonna be fucking November 3rd.
Verdict gonna go down, and then all them they were like, see, this just shows that the justice system in this country works. Vote for me.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how Biden gonna be. See, my system works.
Don't fall for this shit. Don't fall for this shit when he got this man mother at the State of the Union and he started talking about police reform. They didn't give a fuck about police reform. Remember he wanted police reform when he was running for president, and then that motherfucker started back in the blue. Remember
Listen, that? Biden and Kamala are king and queen of back in the blue. You can never, ever trust anything coming out their mouth when it comes to any kind of reform. As soon as they say reform, you just turn the channel. Like, you can't trust.
I ain't gonna hold you.
They about to start.
That's gonna be a very interesting State of the Union with Kevin McCarthy sitting next to Kamami. That's gonna be very interesting. I kind of want to see this.
But anyway, on another note, like I said, hope his family get justice, man. That's sad. On another
Shout out
note,
to his brother. Shout out to his brother staying on code.
Yeah.
He said they got to go.
Yep. His brother
they got to be deleted.
Yeah, his brother he trying to catch them niggas slipping in the street. That's what he sound like.
Facts.
That's right.
Memphis is not that big.
It's not. It's not. He sound like he was trying to catch them niggas slipping in the streets. That's what he sound. He said
at the rib shack.
He sound like he was trying to make sure the trial didn't happen.
Facts.
No need for no trial.
He gonna pull that Boys in the Hood at the end. He's like, they go right there.
Bro, it'd be crazy if we hear that one of them got took out. But then I'd be like,
that man home.
Like, oh well. I'd be like this.
Tough break, nigga.
I mean, but so what this overshadowed, right?
Yeah.
The Pelosi video.
Mm-hmm. And
the
other thing, and the what do you call it?
The Pfizer joint.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
This overshadowed all that shit. So I don't even know if I could. I guess I could show that shit. Can I show that Pelosi shit? I mean,
I would be careful. I'd be careful.
You know what? This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about this Pelosi shit over on Rumble. We're gonna talk about this Pelosi shit over on Rumble, y'all. Yeah. So we about to talk this Pelosi video. Go. Yeah. Get these spicy burritos jumping. So we're gonna talk this Pelosi shit over on Rumble. I'm about to throw the link. I'm about to throw the link in the chat real quick. Did I not put it in the
I'm gonna go rest up for my live stream tomorrow because I'm gonna have the black YouTube TV conservative movement on my ass when I'm done.
Oh shit! I need to go watch it.
While y'all was talking, I got about 5 tabs open of these coons. Boy.
Oh yeah, before we get off YouTube, I'm gonna show the shit you sent me.
Oh my god!
All right, there we go. So let me go back to this thing.
Boy, they paid them extra biscuits to be talking like this. And they talking spicy too. Oh Lord.
Let me see. Anyway, but yeah, if you got I know you gotta get ready to get out of here, Bailey. So she already gone.
Bailey gone, yeah. Bailey gone like a few minutes ago.
She goes 9 o'clock over where she at. She like, listen.
That's right. That's right. She in Washington.
Okay, all y'all, the Chiefs and the Eagles won. Great. I hope they both lose in the Super Bowl. New York Giants next year.
You said New York
Lamar
Giants next
Jackson's
year?
going to Tampa Bay.
You think he is?
I think he should go to Tampa Bay if he want a better situation.
Wow.
Yeah.
You should go to Tampa, and Baltimore should give up some picks and go get that Alabama quarterback.
I was telling people, I was like, he's not leaving. I said, that nigga leaving. He didn't even travel with the team. He gone.
He going to Tampa Bay. He should go to Tampa Bay.
So
you got a running back. You got a 2 dynamic wide receivers, and that division is not that strong because the only competition is New Orleans.
Yeah. So here we go.
You can easily get 11 wins in that division.
Let me share this shit with y'all. me see. This should keep doing this. It'll fix itself. Where's it at? I just hit the fucking link. Where'd it go? Oh, it came over here. Why did it do that? All right, here we go. This what you talking about, y'all?
Yes. And this was before he saw the video.
All right, I'm gonna let you narrate this.
All right, so this Zeke Arkham, he's a former cop, and I left him a quoted tweet about what he said. But he said the actions against Tyre Nichols were racist. Now he's having a conversation with himself, or he having a conversation with a white liberal. I don't know, but he talking to himself. But okay. So he said the actions against Tyre Nichols were racist. The cops are black. Wait, what? All of them? Yep. Any of them light skin like mocha? Nope, all dark chocolate. Can we use racism at all? No. Man, screw it. I'm going to use racism. I need relevance. And then he puts in the screenshot from CNN. Says the police who killed Tyre Nichols were black, but they might have still been driven by racism.
Which is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. And look who wrote it. Look who wrote it.
Yeah, Van Jones. But still.
Right.
Dude, but still. We're looking at a situation. Them cops beat that boy.
Exactly.
I don't care if they blacker than a black hole. They beat that boy.
Exactly.
Right.
I looked at that situation. I ain't care what race they are. I saw blue uniforms beat this boy. So at that point, as a black conservative, you should have shut up.
Yes.
And said, listen, this was wrong. Let's let justice take their course. I would have respected y'all if y'all had just did that. But y'all always got to come out with your bullshit takes. So you can drum up support for, because you know them white donors, they give you that little extra money when the biscuits, when you really want them biscuits.
Right.
So y'all had to jump out the window, and then now they all getting cooked on Twitter. They all getting cooked. You know it's bad when, like I said yesterday on my stream, if you surpass Candace Owens as the top coon, Jason Whitlock, or like my man calls him Jason Fatlock, you done something that should be statistically impossible. You should not be able to out-coon Candace Owens. Even she was smart enough not to say something yesterday. But you went on Fox News and said what you said, talking about the police chief's a single mother and this is single motherhood behavior.
Oh my God.
Oh, I played it on the stream, bro. Yo.
Like they tell on themselves, right? Because
Facts.
Why the CNN take is obviously fucking retarded. And first of all, why are you even still giving credence to fucking CNN in the first place? You keep saying they're fake news, you give credence to them.
You a black conservative saying that you picking up CNN.
Yeah.
Right. Then you come up with a take that's arguably dumber or equal to what they did, and it's just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, come on, man. Like I don't know, ain't that much bootlegging in the world, yo. I don't know, yo.
I get why they
maybe they haven't done it in a while. Maybe they haven't done it in a while, you know what I'm saying? They just maybe they just preparing themselves for later down the line. I don't know, yo. This is stupid.
No, you know what it is? The Blue Lives Matter folk were listening to Trump on Rumble yesterday. So the black and them conservatives, they saw a gap. So they were like, yeah, we could get our message off.
Right.
And they were getting they were looking at it like 321,000 views. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going.
No, so I'm reading this, yo. I don't think he I think it's so what he didn't do is he didn't go liberal or white or media. The actions against Tyre Nichols was racist. The cops are black. Wait, all of them or media? Wait, all of them? Let me do this one. Me. Yep. Media. Any of them light skin like mocha? Me. Nope. All dark chocolate. Media. Can we use racism at all? Me. No. Media. Man, screw it. I'm using racism. I need relevance. So that's how that shit read. So I think he was shitting on CNN, and he showed the CNN the CNN opinion from Van Jones. So that's how I should have read, actually. Van Jones, the actions are racist. Zeke. The cops are black. Van Jones, wait, what? All of them? Zeke, yep. Van Jones. Any of them light skin or like mocha? Zeke, nope. All dark chocolate. Van Jones, can we use racism at all? Zeke, no. Van Jones, man, screw it. I'm using racism. I need relevance. And then boom, Van Jones uses racism.
That makes a lot more sense. I had
to look at it for a minute.
If you said it like that, then I take that back. But that ain't the way it sounded.
It don't sound that way. Because he got quotes. He backed the blue too. So yeah, he got quotes. He got quotes, but he need to put people's names. So the quotes make it seem like he's quoting it. So I get where y'all was coming from. I was just looking at it and I'm like, nah, he trying to do it like a script. So yeah, no. But still, your point still stands. Just flip it and say dumbass Van Jones in the liberal media. That's how they wanted to pull it. They wanted to do that shit. But you're not wrong either, because some conservatives were throwing these niggas some bail.
Wait, you know what conservatives need to do? But see, again, just like we're talking about conservatives right now, or conservative Inc., right?
Yeah.
Don't highlight shit like this. This doesn't need the trend. This article is so stupid. It's so asinine that even giving an opinion on it isn't even worth it.
Right. Don't. And how fast did he write this?
Oh, he wrote that shit in 10. He used Chat GTP to write this.
Fact.
That's how fast he wrote it.
Doing dictations. He already had it ready. But come on.
That's how fast he read that shit. He used Chat GPT. That's how fast he did that shit. I guarantee it. I heard that Chat GTP shit is like super woke.
I don't know, bro.
But fuck it. I hope all of them get what they deserve.
Where's
bro.
Biden?
His ass, he in his fucking crypt. Full of
sure. I can't wait for that press secretary to try to talk about this. I can't.
Ooh.
I
can't wait. Hey, so Kareem, I know the entire world saw the Tyre Nichols body cam footage. What's your take? What's the White House take on it? I got to refer to the counsel of the White House for that answer. But yeah, it was disturbing. But we got to go back to the, we got to go refer to White House in-house counsel.
Yep.
Yo, I call her a gaslighting goddess. Like, she is, when it comes to gaslighting, she I don't know. She got it.
Hey, Joe Beard just posted this.
Shout out to Stud Pierre.
Joe Beard, do you see what he just posted? That's funny.
What happened?
You see this meme on the screen? Oh, hold on.
It was white supremacy, Eddie Crumb, media facts. Well, technically, this is, what is that, a Toyota?
Oh shit! Here you go, guys.
Oh, shit, you know what?
That's a Toyota. Man. That's not white supremacy. Well,
that's a Benz. That's an old Benz.
Yeah, that's a. Well, they are honorary white supremacists.
Those said it was white supremacy. Any crime, media. Bruh.
I mean,
they try to make some shit fit where it can't.
White people, if you want white supremacy and carrying the end, y'all gotta call out your own.
Yeah.
Don't wait for the white liberals to do it. Let all of y'all call. Shame everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, listen, y'all making our pale looking selves look bad out here. Y'all need to stop.
Facts. You gotta flip it on them. That's why. When we talk about January 6th, we call it Jan-teenth now. We're not calling it January 6th anymore because if this shit's already a fairy tale, so we're gonna flip the fairy tale back on them. You know what I'm saying?
Jan-teenth.
It's about to become a national holiday.
I'm about to start cooking out every Jan-teenth.
I'm telling you. Next year we're gonna get that shit trending. Next year we're gonna have a Griffin grill for real.
Hell yeah, we're gonna have a Griffin grill in DC, son.
Yo,
right at the plaza.
Somewhere right there, right up under Martin Luther King. We just gonna break the grill out, leave some hot dog hamburgers. Anyway, guys, we're gonna jump over to Rumble real fast. We're gonna talk this Pelosi tape. So I put let me put it back in there again. Talking. Yeah. All right, I put the link back in the chat. It's also in the description. So head on over to Rumble. We're gonna talk this Pelosi stuff real quick, and then we're gonna call it a night. Anyway, for YouTube, it's Canon Hotep saying, "Be blessed, stay strapped, don't miss." We holla at you.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Don't relax and take notes.
I'm gonna head out too.
This nigga needs to wake up. Niggas
All right,
need to
man.
relax and take notes.